To my channel. My name is Kristen and I am here to explain everything that has to do with the Booktube and Bookstagram world. I have a lot of different topics to talk about, so make sure to grab you a boba tea or coffee or anything that you like as snack. You can even add a popcorn or a piece of chocolate or something, and sit down and relax and enjoy. I have a lot to talk about. So I actually wanted to do this video, I think maybe last year it was, I don't remember, but around this time of year, I had asked on my Instagram to see if anybody was interested in wanting to learn more about Booktube and Bookstagram world and the community and what it's all about and things, and what like a readathon is, what a like how to find readathons, like different things like that, just different reading challenges, different things like that. And I want to start off by explaining how I got myself into the community. I noticed that a lot of people were posting about books, like book recommendations and what to read and things, and I was like, would anybody be interested in this topic on my channel? And I got a lot of responses back from that post, so I was like, okay, well, I need to make this video. And I think I've filmed here and there like type of videos, but I wanted to put it all into one video, and I'm actually going to make a playlist of all of my videos that include any type of book or reading situation that I've ever talked about, so it'll all be on its own playlist, so you can binge watch it if you're in the mood to find a new book or just like that type of content. So let's go through all the vocabulary. So Booktube is basically book content on YouTube, and Bookstagram is book content on Instagram. But a lot of people do both, or some people do blogs and talk about the books in a blog form. Some of my favorite people, I can list a few of my favorites, are Desi from Darling Desi, Liv from Liv's Library, Abigail from Abigail's Cup of Tea, Sara from Sara's Reading Nook, and then Melaine from That Girl blog. And I can put all of their links down below, and so you can check them out, follow them if any of them are some type of content that you are interested in, and like any of the books that they read and stuff. Those are the people from the world of book stuff on the internet that I got introduced to this community by. And actually the story of how I started getting into this community was I was scrolling on YouTube, as one does, through the homepage, trying to find new content to watch and new people to subscribe to. I happened to see this video that was called the Gilmore Girls Readathon, and Desi from Darling Desi posted it, and this was a couple of years ago. And I was like, oh, what is this readathon Gilmore Girls? Like, this is literally exactly what I am in need of. Like, this like sounds like my aesthetic. And so I clicked on it, I started watching it, and I was like, wait, this is what a readathon is. This is so cool. And I thought, she was also including other people into the readathon. So she had multiple hosts, and they would do like posts on Instagram and videos that surrounded the whole theme of the readathon, and I thought that was so cool. And so that's where I found Liv from Liv's Library and a few other people. And then slowly I ended up finding Sara from Sara's Reading Nook through her reading sprints. And those are basically when she does, she's the only one that I've seen so far that does these. But reading sprints are where she will go on, it's basically like 30-minute intervals of reading or productivity. So you can clean during the 30 minutes, or you can read, and then you have like a comment section on the live. It's almost like an Instagram live. Sometimes she will just do timers on there, and we take 10-minute breaks in between to chat in like the live stream thing, or it'll just be, or she'll actually show her face and have a few other book YouTubers or bookstagrammers on there as well, and we can all talk about the books that we're reading or how we're cleaning our house or doing the dishes or whatever. And in the time that she does the reading sprints, and she does them very randomly, but she usually will post on her Instagram if she is about to do one, and so that's how I've kept up with them. But those have been so fun to do. I have done a couple of them, and it's so fun to get to talk to everybody and see what other people are reading, and it kind of like gets me into wanting to read more books because I'm so interested in the books that they're reading. I'm like, wait, I need to know, so I can kind of like know what they're talking about, you know. And one thing that has helped me a lot in the reading community, but I also do this in other aspects of my life, is a planner. So this planner is called the Always Fully Booked Planner. It is made by a girl named Megan. Her info is Little Inkling Designs. She has a YouTube channel all about her products, and she also does everything on Instagram and things. And she has this book, which is almost very similar to the Erin Condren planner, but like the Erin Condren Life Planner, but it is all based on reading. And then she also has these little smaller versions of this, which if you don't need the whole planner and you just want to keep up with your books, then she has a journal called the Novel Companion, and she has a bunch of other stuff like coloring books and different things like that that are super cute. She has like pins and stickers and all different things on her shop. I will link all of her stuff below. I'll link her stuff below. But basically in this book she does reading challenges, and each year the planner changes and grows as, you know, it goes throughout whatever people like and suggest when she asks for suggestions. Also, the planners sell out super fast, so if you want to get one of these planners, you have to be watching out on her Instagram around like the end of September, early October, and then she has a pre-order day, and that day is when you want to order it. And then that way you can guarantee that you get a planner. Sometimes she has extras that she will sell, but it's better to go ahead and order from that first date that she says. So there's an A to Z challenge, which is basically you fill out the page on each book according to the letter that it starts with. And right now, obviously with it being like the beginning of the year, I haven't filled it out as much. But she has that challenge. She has her 2022 Fully Booked Reading Challenge. And there's a bunch of prompts on here that you can fill out. And there's like a book with a number in the title, a book published in the month you were born, a debut book, an own voices book. Like there's all different prompts that you can choose from and fill out for the year. And then you have, she added these two new ones. There's a genre reading challenge, so basically reading one book from each genre that is out there. And then she has a reading rainbow challenge, which she actually has before, but it's if the book based on the color of the book is what you would check that off with. And then there's also an on the cover challenge, so if there's an animal on the cover, if there's a heart on the cover, if there's sunglasses on the cover, like anything like that, but it's based off of whatever she has in the prompts. And then the newest one, which is one of my favorites, and I've already checked off one of them, is the Around the World challenge. And this challenge is you either can go by the setting of the book or where the author is from. I'm kind of doing both, and so it's different places around the world on a world map, and you fill out the areas wherever the book is setted, the book setting is, or where the author is from that wrote the book. And then she has like a cute little coloring page to fill out your own bookshelf and a bunch of other stuff, and then it turns into an actual planner, and then you can like keep up with how you want to read and things. And there's just a lot that happens in this planner, so I would highly recommend getting one of these next time they are available. But that is one thing that I really like. I know a lot of people that use bullet journaling. I've tried that before. This is more my style, but I really love to look up like Pinterest posts of people doing bullet journal pages and stuff. I think they're so pretty. So I think they're just so beautiful how people can create just from a blank page this like really pretty aesthetic and look for each like month or each season in their bullet journals, and it becomes like their own like their planner diary kind of thing, and they can look back on it over the years and see how they've like their handwriting has changed or however they make them. So a readathon is basically reading as many books as you can in the amount of time that is given for the readathon. So some people do them all only on Instagram, some people will do them on YouTube and Instagram. So some with the Gilmore Girls readathon that happens around October, November, they do it for a week-long readathon. So you have a week to read however many books you want in the prompts that they give. So there's like one that's like a mother-daughter duo, and you find it because of Lorelai and Rory, and then you find a book that has that prompt and you put that into your list. And a TBR is to be read list, and it's basically what books you're going to be reading for that specific thing. It could be for the month, it could be for the readathon, it could be whatever. And also some readathons are only 24 hours, some are 48 hours, some are a week long or a month long. It just depends on who is hosting the readathon and how they wanted to go about it. And also however many prompts. And also a lot of people will either do audiobooks so they can read more, or do 2 prompts for 1 book. So they'll, instead of having to read like 4 books for all 4 prompts, they'll pick like 2 books for 2 of the or 1 book for 2 of the prompts and 1 book for the other prompt, and then they can actually like be able to complete the challenge, if that makes sense. So it just kind of depends on your reading preference and how you want to go about it. And it's really fun to film a TBR video, basically what you're going to be reading for that specific readathon or reading challenge. It helps to for people to see those so that they can kind of get ideas for themselves on what they want to read. That is everything for that category. So I'm going to move on to the books that I have read so far this year. And also, I just got back from, when I went to get my hair done just now, I just got back from going to Barnes & Noble, and they had a crazy sale going on, and I bought like a few books that I really am excited about and can't wait to show you and can't wait to read. And so I'm going to go through the books that I have already read this year, and then we will go into my new books that I have. So the book, I've actually talked about a few of these already, but with this being an all reading type of video, I want to put everything into one video. So this book series, if you've never read it, I found out about it from Liv's Library and Desi a few years ago, and oh my gosh, it is such a magical series, and it's set in Christmas time, so it's great for a winter read, or just if you're just feeling the winter vibes, even if it's like the summertime. This is such a cozy read. I love these books so much. And it's also got a mystery to it, so it's really cool and mysterious and cozy. But this is Green Glass House, and Green Glass House is about a little boy who lives in a bed and breakfast, and these interesting characters show up to stay in the bed and breakfast, and then you find out about why they're there, and you're wanting to know about his friends that he has and all the secrets that are inside of the house. So that, I'm going to kind of like give a short synopsis on that, because I want, if you're intrigued by this book so far, I would want you to read it without me spoiling anything. So there's that one. Also I have it up there, but it's called Blue Crown, and that is a prequel to this series. But there's not really much. It's about the family that lived in the house like years before this family lives in the house. It's okay. It's really not my favorite book. But, so I like to just start off with the Green Glass House and skip that one because it isn't really my favorite. But then you have Ghosts of Green Glass House. So yes, there is a paranormal side to this series, and it's such a good twist in the series. This is the second book to it, and then there is a few other ones which I have read. I've read The Thief Knot also this year, which I read on my iPad, and then she also came out with another one that's called the Rancounters Commonplace book, and that is a book that Milo, the little kid in the books, reads in the series. So you can read the book that he read. And I haven't read that yet, but I just didn't really, because this series was so long and I wanted to be able to read other series in the year. I didn't want to be just stuck on one series for so long, and also I didn't like that it didn't have the characters that I was used to in the book, if that makes sense. So I haven't read that one yet, but this is the first series that I read this year. And then I also read, on my iPad, I read Things I Should Have Said by Jamie Lynn Spears, because I was just intrigued by what she had to say, and it was okay. It wasn't my favorite. I was kind of bored with it. I kind of knew most of the stuff that she said because it had been in the tabloids. That's literally all I'm going to say about that book. And then I finally got to read the second book and the final book of the series. I thought it was going to be a trilogy, and it turned out to be only 2 books. But The Magpie Society by Zoe Sugg and Amy McCullough. This is the 2 for Joy, and then you have The Magpie Society, one for Sorrow, and then 2 for Joy. This series is so good. How I can explain it is, if you are interested in Harry Potter, like that kind of like British boarding school, like that kind of thing, not necessarily like magical or anything, but like British boarding school, and like Wild Child, because it does have an American that comes over to the British boarding school, and it kind of has those vibes of Wild Child. There's a secret inside the school that's called the Magpie Society, and they're trying to figure out what that is, and also what happened to a girl that ends up dying in the book, and you try to figure out what happened to her and who killed her and all this stuff. And oh my gosh, this ending is like incredible, literally so good. I was not expecting it. I was shocked when I read the ending of this book. It makes me want to go back and reread the series, because it's been a little while since I've read the first one. I read it last November for like the second time, because I thought this one was going to come out quicker than it did, because it came out and then it took me forever to get it in the mail. So I kind of remembered what happened in the first book, but I kind of want, now that I know the ending, I want to like reread it at some point, so I can like see if I like catch all the stuff that happened and everything. Like it was so interesting. I would highly recommend this. And then the next book that I read, or actually books, was Zoe's first set of books that she came out with, called Girl Online series. Well, this is the first one, Girl Online, and then you have Girl Online on Tour and Girl Online Going Solo, and I just read all of those. I just finished this book last night. I've actually read these books before, but it's been a while since I read them, and I could not remember how it ended, so I wanted to reread them again. And so I read all of them, and it's such a cute story. Like, if you just like a wholesome, cute love story kind of story, but also a girl figuring out herself through anxiety, and just like, I feel like I can relate to her so well. Like, they have a mention of Hocus Pocus in there. They have a lot of good little things that make me think of myself. Like, me and Penny, I feel like, are pretty much the same type of person, and I can relate to her very well. But anyways, this is that series, and this series is just so whimsical and just so cute. I just love this series so much, and her and Noah are just the cutest. And then I have been reading this book, which is the second book of, it's not a series, but it's the second book that she came out with, Karen McManus came out with, that's also with One of Us is Lying. This is the second book that she came out with, I believe. I don't really know, but One of Us is Lying actually has a sequel, and I saw it at Barnes & Noble today, so I might end up reading that one, because I read that one. I read the One of Us is Lying last year, but I have yet to finish this one. I am in the middle of it. I actually started it a few days ago because I wanted to try to read 2 books at once, because I've done it a couple of times this year so far. And I think if I stick to a book that's a different genre than the other book that I'm reading, it'll be easier for me to keep up with the stories. But I'm like, I think 10 or 11 chapters into the book so far, and it is so good. It's giving me major PLL vibes, Pretty Little Liars vibes, and I actually was talking about this book in the reading sprint that I did with Sara and a few other people a couple of days ago. But yes, I am loving this book so far. I haven't finished it yet, but it's been a good one so far. Before my camera dies, I want to go through the books that I just got from Barnes & Noble. So these are not in any particular order because I don't remember which one I picked up, like first, second, or whatever. So I'm just gonna pull from the bag and go from there. But this one that I picked up is called Recipe for Disaster. And the synopsis is, Hannah Malthea Alder is Jewish, depends on who you ask. Not that Hannah really thinks about it one way or another. She'd prefer to focus on her favorite pastime, baking delicious food. But when her best friend Sara has a beyond awesome bar mitzvah, Hannah starts to feel a little envious and a little left out. Why shouldn't she have an awesome bar mitzvah too? She is Jewish after all, right? Despite her parents' firm no, Hannah is determined, and her Aunt Yo and Grandma Mimi are more than willing to help her prepare, even though Hannah's mom and Aunt Yo aren't on speaking terms. But as family secrets burst out into the open, Hannah will have to decide what's more important, her family or her bat mitzvah, and this bittersweet story about food, family, and finding yourself. And it looks so cute, and I'm so excited to read this, and I can't wait. I love that it kind of matches my shirt, and I'm also like just really excited to do some vlogs with some of these books as well. Going back to One of Us is Lying and all of that stuff, I found this one that is called The Cousins, and it's basically where these three people find out that they are actually related, but they've never met their grandmother, and then they get a letter in the mail telling them all to go to this house to meet up and meet somebody. And that's what I read from the synopsis, but it seems very interesting. It kind of gives me like the murder mystery dinners, or like, you know what I'm talking about, where you like have like you have a murder mystery party and then somebody ends up dying and then you're trying to figure out who it is that like killed the person or whatever while you're at like the murder mystery dinner. It's I know some people have done those parties before, but it kind of gives me that vibe, and I'm very excited to see what's going to happen in this book. And then the next one I found was, I found a lot of like love story type books, but I think it's because it's coming up Valentine's Day. But this one is called 16 Scandals, and it looks so good. It's kind of giving me, if you have read it, The Prince and the Dressmaker. It's a graphic novel. I read it last year, and it gives me that kind of vibe when I read the synopsis for it. So this book is pretty small, so I feel like I could easily finish it within like a day or two. But I'm excited to see what this book has in it. It gives me Major Bridgerton, The Prince and the Dressmaker type vibes, and very like, or it also gives me Little Women vibes in a way, I feel like. But yes, so I'm excited to read this book. And the next one that I bought is this, this one was kind of just like really just basically because I read Girl Online. I saw this, I read the synopsis of it, and I fell in love with this just by the cover and the synopsis, so I'm very excited to read this one. But it's called Hot British Boyfriend, and oh my gosh, it gives me basically like Girl Online vibes. And this girl basically gets rejected, and she ends up, the girl, let's see, her name's Ellie, and she gets rejected by this guy. I'm gonna head off to England with my friends, and she ends up meeting this guy, and they fall in love, and it's like a super cute love story, I think. And it's also pretty, it's not that big at all, so I could probably finish this super quickly as well. But I'm excited to read this because I just finished reading a book very similar to this one, and I just was kind of sad that I had to end that storyline. But now this one is kind of like another version of it, so I'm very excited to read it. And then the last book that I have that I picked up is very different from anything that I really ever read, so I'm excited to read it. And so I picked this one up because I've heard so many people talking about this book, and it's called The Inheritance Game. Gives me kind of like I like how it has like riddles, codes, like secret passageways, and also gives me like Hunger Games or like that kind of like fantasy world type of vibe, and I am very intrigued to read this. I'm excited. I've heard so many good reviews from everyone in the Booktube world and Bookstagram world talking about this, and I'm very, very excited for it. But yes, so that is everything for this video. If you like this video and want to see more reading videos, make sure to give this video a thumbs up and comment down below any reading video ideas you would like to see from me. If you have any questions about any of the things that I talked about, any of the books or anything like that, then leave a comment down below, and make sure to follow me on Instagram and comment down below, like this video, and share this video to any of your fellow reading friends. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye!